Hi, I wanted to share with you Hunter's labor and delivery story since she turned 6 today. So, yeah, so I'm going to begin. Okay, so what happened? Sorry, I keep saying, I know. Okay, it all started January 15th. She was born 2006, so it all started January 15th, 2006. I went into the hospital because I was throwing up a lot in the morning, and you're not supposed to be throwing up a lot when you're 9 months pregnant, or 8 months pregnant. Anyway, well, I was close to my due date. Anyway, so I went into the hospital because I was throwing up a lot, and they checked me and found out I was 2 or 3 centimeters dilated, and so they monitored me for a little bit, and then they sent me home. So when I got home, my mom called and told me that my grandfather went into the hospital the same day as I did, but we lived in different cities, so it was different hospitals. But yeah, so it was kind of weird, kind of scared me a little bit. But I went home that same day, and he never went home that day. Anyway, and then January 17th, 2006, I went to my mom's for dinner, and my aunt called and had told us my grandfather passed away. So it was sad, because I'm the first grandchild, and I was really close to my grandfather, so I was a little upset. But yeah, so when it was time to go to his funeral, I was told I wasn't allowed to go by the doctors, of course, and so I had to stay home. And I went. I didn't really want to stay home, but I wanted to go to the funeral, but I wasn't allowed to. So yeah, and well, on January 21st, that was the day of his funeral, I had some leakage, and I just thought I was leaking. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think it was my water breaking or anything, because my water never broke with the boys. They broke my water, so I didn't know what it was. I just thought I was leaking, so I walked around with a pad for a couple of days. And oh, before I continue, Hunter's due date was February 11th, 2006. And this is January 21st, 2006. Anyway, so yeah, my mom came home the next day on the 22nd of January, and she was telling me all about my grandfather's funeral and how it was sad, and how everyone was crying and everything. And I was just like, okay. Because I wasn't there, so. But, I told her that I was leaking and I was walking around with a pad, and she was like, oh, that's normal, you know, you're almost due, you're whatever. And so the next day, which is January 23rd, 2006, I had a lot of errands, so my mom took me, because I don't drive, so my mom picked me up. We went grocery shopping, we went to the mall, to Zellers and stuff, and I got all my stuff done, and then after supper I put the boys to bed, like I always do, wash them up and get them ready for bed, because they had daycare the next day. And around 8:20 I decided I want a hot chocolate. So I was talking to a friend on the phone, and I made my hot chocolate, sat down on the couch, and I was watching a hockey game. I was flipping back and forth from the hockey game to the no, wrestling wasn't on yet. But I was watching the hockey game. And and I was talking to my friend on the phone, and I had a sip of my hot chocolate, and all of a sudden I had these really, really, really bad pains, like cramps, and I didn't know what to think. I was just talking and going ow, 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 and my friend's like, did you just get another pain? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, and then he goes, well, that's 5 minutes apart. Like, you had a pain 5 minutes ago, and you're having pain now. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so I hung up with him, and I called my mom. And I was like, well, Mom, I'm having some pains. And she's like, oh, just lay down, relax, they'll go away, it's just Braxton Hicks. I was like, okay. Because I wasn't due until February, so, and it's January 23rd. So, I was like, whatever. So I listened to my mom, I laid down, I tried to relax, but the pain kept coming, and it was getting worse and worse, and I thought I had to go to the washroom. So I went and I tried to go to the washroom, but I didn't have to go to the washroom. And so it's 8:45, and I'm going back and forth, laying down to the washroom, and then finally around 9 o'clock I called my mom back, and my stepdad answered and said she was in the shower or the bath. And so I told him to tell her that I was bleeding, and I think I lost my weakest plug. And so he's like, okay. And then 5 minutes later, Mom called me back and told me that she was on her way, and that my stepdad was going to drive me to the hospital. So my mom came over because she was going to watch the boys. And when she got there, my stepdad was like, yeah, I'm not driving her to the hospital, we won't make it. So they called an ambulance, and I had to take the ambulance to the hospital. And I didn't like it. It was the worst. They tried to put an IV in my hand and broke my vein. I was bruised, and then the ambulance right there was so bumpy, and it was just horrible. And then when I got to the hospital, I had natural births with my boys, so I knew that I didn't want a natural birth with this one because I wanted one with no pain. And by the time I got to the hospital, they checked me, and I said, I want the epidural, I want the epidural. They looked at me, and they were like, you can't have the epidural. So I was like, why? And they told me I was 8 centimeters. And I was like, no. No, no, no. So by the time I got to the hospital, which was around 10 p.m., like 10 at night, I was like, no, you can't tell me I can't have an epidural, I want one. But they said no. So I didn't get my epidural, and I was mad. But I was in too much pain to even try to fight with anybody. So Mom told me, like when I was leaving to go to the hospital in the ambulance, she told me my sister was on her way. She knew me at the hospital, and my mom knows from my past births that they don't come fast. Like the babies, they take their time. Well, this little girl, she wanted out. By the time I got my room, the birthing room, I was ready to push, and so I had to push, and I got my room around 20 after 10, and Hunter was born at 10:35, so it was a fast delivery and a painful one, and whew. And then when my sister got there, she was like, what happened? I go, I already had her. She's like, no way. I'm like, yep, she's over there. So she missed the whole thing. But that's alright. She was 6 pounds, 12 ounces. I don't remember how many inches. I think 19. Yeah, I think 19 inches. Shoot, but yeah, painful. But I don't know why she was 2.5 weeks early. Could have been finding out my grandfather died. I don't know what it was, but it was fast. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll be posting more videos. Bye.